Welcome back to Navigating Serenity. On our final episode of our Costa Rican adventure, we head down to Manzanillo. Welcome to Puerto Viejo, a small town on the Atlantic side of Costa Rica. You must first travel here and catch either a bus or a taxi to get the rest of the way down to Manzanillo.
Once we got there, we weren't entirely sure what to expect. But upon looking around, I saw a bunch of people waiting around. Bus stop. We headed over there, bought some tickets, and we were on our way.
Or so we thought. Before we could even round the corner, the bus hit a car. It was interesting to say the least.
After crashing into the car that tried to squeeze by the bus, we asked about transport, and they said the next bus would be 4 hours away. So we thought maybe we could get a refund because we went a block. Nope, but we could seek out a taxi, which would be more expensive, but they are around.
Manzanillo is a little one-horse town at the end of the road. A couple of restaurants, a couple places to stay, and a beach. Not much else going on, which is exactly what we were looking for. We got checked into our place and decided to have a little something to eat before we headed out exploring. Remember those giant avocados I mentioned in our last video?
The town is pretty much 2 blocks, and we were on the jungle side of the 2 blocks. It became quite apparent when we woke up the next morning to a special treat of finding a sloth, just kind of hanging out. Got to watch him for a while before we had breakfast.
We definitely had lots of wildlife around. Besides our sloth visitor for breakfast, we also had a nice nest of hornets that were trying to build their home right outside our window. We decided to take a walk down the road and we found some howler monkeys and some more sloths.
Fun fact, sloths come down from trees about once a week to go poop. Interesting considering it takes them about a month to digest a meal.
Sometimes simply wandering can lead you to some fantastic places. This beautiful stretch of coastline along the jungle was just south of Manzanillo.
Before we left for Costa Rica, I actually looked up the kinds of animals I should be seeing here. Can't say that we saw them all, but we were looking for sloths specifically. And it wasn't until we got to Manzanillo that we saw lots of them.
We had several reasons for coming to Manzanillo. Part of that was we wanted to dive both sides of Costa Rica. We had done the Pacific side, so now we were going to dive the Atlantic side. We found a dive shop near Manzanillo, the Punta Uva Dive Center. It was just up the road, and it looked like a perfect spot to go for our next dive adventure.
I've been diving in other parts of the world, and I was actually kind of surprised at how cold it was on the Pacific side of Costa Rica. It took me 2 wetsuits and a hood to stay mostly warm.
We were pleasantly surprised at how warm the water was on the Atlantic coast. Diving on the Atlantic side was beautiful. For our first dive, we dove the wall, and then followed by the 2 towers. Our second dive started off with a little bit of sediment in the water, but it quickly cleared off. We saw all sorts of really cool sea life, including midnight parrotfish, queen angel fish, and we even saw a lionfish. We also saw some pretty cool lobster hanging around down here, and this stingray that was trying to hide in the sand on the bottom.